What is good, YouTube? It is your boy, Zeiler, and today we are checking in for what seems to be, come on and say it with me, a brand new installment here on the channel, and today we are taking a look at a brand new arm workout. This is something that has been asked of me time after time after time again, relentlessly. You guys are always asking for different arm workout variations, and so I thought it was time to deliver to those of you asking this of me. So today, you guys, it is a triceps and biceps workout we are taking a good vintage look at. With that said, you guys know that I do not hit biceps directly. After my back workouts, I would theoretically hit biceps, but I have not hit them in months after months after months of time. And every so often, I consider going back to my bicep training, in all honesty. Like just yesterday after my back workout, I was like, dude, I should hit some biceps, but I didn't end up doing it, and so that is that, you guys. Starting off the workout with some skull crushers, using a relatively heavy amount of weight, aiming for anywhere from 15 to 20 repetitions. In today's workout, I was somewhat sporadic in terms of my form. I wasn't using an impeccable amount of control. However, you guys, I wasn't just throwing weight around. I was most definitely working my triceps on the tricep exercises, and I was most definitely working my biceps on the bi exercises. So, in today's workout, I made a slight transition going back and forth from a tricep exercise into a bicep exercises. Back and forth, back and forth. And the rep ranges, I would say they were varying for the most part. So right here, you guys, you can see I'm using, again, relatively heavy weight. And I think I was aiming from like 6 to 12 reps, somewhere in there, focusing on hypertrophy. And one thing I want you guys to understand, the arm muscles, specifically the biceps and triceps, are extremely small muscle groups. They are so small when you compare them to muscle groups such as the back muscles, the leg muscles, even your ass muscles, the glutes. Your biceps and your triceps are very, very small muscle groups, and it should not take a whole lot of weight to stimulate them into growing, if you know what I'm saying. With that said, I am hitting some easy bar bicep curls. My form, just like the skull crushers, it's somewhat sporadic, but I am using a little bit of a heavier amount of weight than normal. After that, I moved on to the single arm French press, or overhead dumbbell extension, whatever you prefer to call this exercise. And I think I'm using like a 35-pound dumbbell, maybe a 40. Not quite sure, but I can't go very heavy on this exercise. When I'm doing a single dumbbell, I can grab the 125 and do a couple of reps. So you would think I'd be able to do like a 50 or 60, but I cannot do so. Now with this exercise, I used to be extremely strict. I used to focus on keeping my elbow perpendicular to the ceiling and the floor as much as possible, but now I allow myself to have somewhat of a bend in the triceps and in the elbow region, just slightly. I mean, I'm not letting it go completely parallel to the floor or anything like that. However, I feel like I'm getting more of a stretch than when I keep my elbow completely pointed at the ceiling. I don't know, I'm kind of instinctive with that kind of a thing. But after that, I moved on to the preacher curl. Now this right here isn't really a working set. I'm doing the dual dumbbells simply to get the feel for the exercise and a bit of like a warm into. Even though I was warmed up, I call it a warm into set, mainly to mentally get myself ready to go into the single arm curls that I ended up doing. And right here, I think I started with a, I don't know, is that a 30 or 40 pound dumbbell? Not extremely heavy, you guys. My biceps are pretty strong, I would say, but as Arnold Schwarzenegger said, he never really went above using the 50-pound dumbbells in his workouts, and I'm a big believer in that. As I said, it doesn't take a whole lot of weight to make your arms grow, and so I focus much more on the peak contraction at the top of the movement and that sort of a thing, you guys. But speaking of peak, the word peak, People ask me how to peak their biceps and my thoughts on bicep peaking. I'm a believer that your muscles have their own shape. There are no actual peaking exercises. In order to peak your biceps, the only thing you can do is just make your biceps grow. There are no actual exercises that give you that extra roundness at the top of the muscle. You cannot shape a muscle. Same thing goes with like inner chest. When people say, how do you target the inner chest muscle? You can't actually target the inner chest in my reckoning. I truly believe you have to overall bring up your chest development to get greater chest muscle tissue. So my genetics in terms of biceps, I would say are good and bad. Now, if you look at my biceps insertions, you can see that my bicep fibers connect right around the elbow region. I will never have an extremely peaky bicep. I will never have that mountainous bicep peak that many people have. And that's genetics. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to get that peak. I can only work on getting my biceps bigger if I want them bigger. Right now, I don't want my biceps really any bigger. This video, I worked my biceps because I wanted to show you guys an ideal biceps workout. Some people have that short head of their bicep, and I think there's such thing as having too short of a bicep. I feel bad for people who have those really short, peaky biceps because it doesn't always look the best, and it doesn't always look that full. The thing about my arms is my triceps insertions and my biceps insertions are very ideal in a way because they will always look extremely full because I've got my arms big enough. I mean, if I wasn't working arms and they were a weak point, they would look small as fuck because of my insertions. And I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but it does to me, so I don't know. But anyways, we went into some alternating bicep curls using a relative amount of weight, not extremely heavy or anything like that. I see guys walk in the gym and they can curl the 80s and the 100-pound dumbbells, no problem, throwing the weight around using completely sporadic form and that sort of a thing. I'm here to tell you guys that all of those guys have shitty arms. Every last one of them that can do that has pretty shitty arm development, and it's probably a result of them using improper arm training. Now, right here, I think I've got the 50s, I would say, and that is more than enough. I don't even know if I have the 50s. It might be the 40s even. And that, for me, is heavy. More than enough amount of weight, you guys, to get a good biceps contraction and to get a good amount of blood flow into the biceps. I didn't go to complete failure. I was getting relatively close, but, I tried to keep my form as tight as possible using a little bit of momentum and allowing a little bit of cheating. But that's really it. I went over to some triceps cable extensions. I love using this on every triceps type of workout, using the cables because of the constant tension it brings. I will either do this type of exercise toward the end of the workout or toward the beginning as a pre-exhaust movement. And right here you can see I had to add a 45-pound plate to the entire stack itself because it's not enough weight for a strong motherfucker like me, right? I'm just kidding, but doing a drop set to really fatigue and take everything out of the triceps possible. Going for the burn more than anything, doing a higher number of repetitions. But drop sets are a great thing to do to bring extra blood into the muscle and bring that fresh amount of nutrients into the arms. Wouldn't hurt anything, right? Now, I am seen here doing a machine biceps curl, and machines are a great way to isolate the muscle. I love doing machine exercises usually at the end of my workouts because it's that further isolation of putting all of the tension on nothing but the biceps. I can't cheat with my back throwing momentum into the movement. It is all arms. All of my routines, really, if I honestly break them down, are focused completely on isolation. First, of course, I usually focus on putting my compound movements in the beginning of my workouts, but other than that, you guys, I'm a bodybuilder. I am 100% focused on isolating certain muscle groups and everything in that regard. So, a person who focuses on strength, of course, is going to be much stronger than me, and I've came to accept that, I have little goals and ambitions of hitting certain numbers of weight. But really, you guys, I'm trying to build a phenomenal fucking physique. But these are the final exercises of this workout. Going extremely, extremely light, doing an overhead triceps extension or French press, and then moving on to this isolated biceps curl. Now, this little bar thing I have behind my elbows, you guys, it makes my fucking arms look like gorilla arms or some shit. And I'm not really sure what this piece of equipment is called, but I do remember that in our high school weight room, back when I used to work out in the high school weight room, whenever I would put this bar on, this piece of equipment, everyone in the weight room would crowd around me to watch me curl. And even back then, I had a decent set of arms. And not only that, but I was probably leaner then than I am right now. So everyone would crowd around me because my freaking veins would come out and they would think it's absolutely disgusting. And it was so fucking funny, oh my god. One thing that I really want to do is go and ask permission to film a video in that weight room, because that is honestly the first gym that I ever worked out in, is our high school weight room. And it's like in a small little portable type thing, a small little building. And I think it would be so awesome to be able to go in there by myself or something like that and just film the equipment in there and, go through a workout. It would be an amazing video. I just need to get permission to do something like that. I'm sure you guys would enjoy it. But that is the end of the video. I hope it was informative. I hope it was influential. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Peace out. Bye.